Hey there! So today I'm going to be doing an unboxing from Aquarium Co Op, and I do order from them regularly since I discovered them as a vendor. So I have been having, this is like my third or my fourth order from them, and I had to order because I have eggs and fry in the fish room and needed some supplies. So I went ahead and threw in a couple of live plants that I'd never tried before while I was ordering. And opening this box is going to be a little bit of a surprise to me as much as it'll be to you. So let's go ahead and get it open and see what's inside. Now, the first thing I'm excited to look for is my free sticker. They've really gotten me used to these free fish stickers, and hopefully I did get one this time. They do have a facilities inspection record that they have to do for California, which is to certify there are no invasive species. I don't know what would be considered an invasive species in California, but there's a lot of things that cannot be sold. Like, for example, I cannot buy full-size water lettuce from a pond store online because California won't allow it. So they're certified to ship to California, which is cool. And this is a list of what I've bought. And let's see if there is a sticker in here. I don't see a sticker, but let's start with the first thing that comes out of the box. Brazilian pennywort. And this is a nice tall plant. If you can see next to me, they sent me, I was not expecting this to be this big. I've never had Brazilian pennywort before, so I'm really excited to see what this plant looks like. Let me just grab my scissors and I'll get it open. Now, one thing I realized after ordering a couple times from Aquarium Co Op, their plants come in these bags, and these bags, I would cut them at the bottom so I could pull the plant out of the bottom, but they actually rip really easy at the seams, so you can just tear them open and get to them. So I'm just gonna pull this open and see what this pennywort looks like. Cool. Well, it's a lot bigger than I expected as far as leaves and shape. And it's got some roots there at the bottom. It's very green. This kind of reminds me a bit of like how it's sprouting out of the side, a pond plant. So I'm probably gonna put this in my 90-gallon river bottom tank is what I'm thinking, because this looks like it might just like to kind of trail along a riverbed. So if I think I might go ahead and put it in there. So that's a cool purchase. I've never had that before. And let's see what's next. Starigen rapens. So I don't know what that is either. That's another cool looking plant that I just threw in the cart. And this is in a little pot. It's a dwarf plant. So let's see how this one came in. And I'm just pulling it out carefully. And it looks a lot like it did in the picture. So it looks a little bit like fresh basil to me. And I was thinking this might look cool in front of some cryptocorn, like with the cryptocorn standing out of the back, which would be tall like my hand. So this is a slow-growing dwarf plant. And we have another pennywort. I'm gonna open this just to see if it's healthy. I previously purchased from another plant vendor before I was on making videos, and I wasn't very happy with what I received. So I actually like to show you guys these unboxings because I want you to know what you would receive compared to the pictures that they have on the website. And so far, so good with Aquarium Co Op. I've been receiving what I was expecting. This pennywort here is kind of growing out of its pot a little bit, which is kind of cool. And it's got some shoots here that you can see. And it's pretty tall. I'll hold it up to myself so you can see the length. So this is a tall plant too. The other thing I was thinking to do with these is to put them in a huge jar. Hold on just a second. I bought this gigantic jar at TJ Maxx or Home Goods, and I was thinking it would look cool with these kind of in the middle and maybe a betta swimming around it. So I might be doing a DIY project with this cool big jar. So if you think I should put the pennywort in the jar, put that in the chat. If you think I should put it in the lazy river bottom aquarium, put that in the chat too. I love talking to you guys in the chat. I actually don't have any local fish friends here. So chatting with you guys about fish is like fun for me because I've never had a friend that shared my fish keeping hobby before. And there is not really a local fish store here that I trust to buy from, which is why I buy so much online actually. We have Petco and PetSmart. I go there for my dog food, or I would buy maybe like a filter from them or some media. I have bought fish. My killifish are actually from Petco, but I really prefer to order and support online vendors. Like I've purchased from Aquahuna, Discus Madness. There's another online vendor I'm looking at for a betta. So if anybody knows of a great place to get an all black betta, I really want to try an all black betta. And so yeah, because we don't have a local fish store, that's how I end up ordering so much online, because I can't get cool plants here locally because I live in a small town. And that might be what your situation is too. Not everybody is lucky enough to live in some place like LA or Sacramento or wherever it might be. But anyways, let me keep unboxing. So here's another one of those rapins plants. I think I'm pronouncing that right. And it just has a really cute, bushy green look to it. And if this stays like that, I'm really gonna like it. My thing is sometimes plants melt in my aquarium and sometimes they thrive. I feel like for every 2 plants I buy, I get 1 because when I'm experimenting. Now, dwarf lilies, Anubias, I do great with those floating plants. I have a mini papyrus which is a pond plant in one of my aquariums. That's doing really well. I'm trying to think of what else. Cryptocorn does great, but cryptocorn will melt back when you buy it. So if this was a crypt, I would almost expect it to halfway die before taking off in my aquarium. So there's that, and one more. Oh, this one I'm excited about. So this is Bucephalandra, and it's the green wavy variety. So this is a little dwarf plant, and it grows via a rhizome like Anubias. So a rhizome is like not quite a root, not quite a stem. It's like a stem that the roots come off of, and that needs to stay exposed to light. So if you ever grow Anubias, make sure that the stalk, which is called the rhizome that the leaves come off of, is completely exposed to light and not buried in your substrate. It's like the crown of a oak tree or something, you don't want to bury it because it'll totally rot and get fungus. So excited about this. This is a little dwarf plant, and let's see if I can get you a good view here. And it's the little short guy. And I've read about these. They're slow growers, but they have these really hardy leaves like Anubias, and they grow from a rhizome. They expand over time, and they're okay with, it sounds like they're okay with a moderate light. So because the aquarium I want to put it in is kind of deep, and I don't have a super expensive high-powered light on it, I just have a night crew on that tank, I am going to plant this because I've heard this is really hardy. And this was about, these are more expensive. So Bucephalandra is a pricier plant. This is the most expensive plant I bought. And this little guy was, I want to say, $15.99, which is actually a pretty good deal. I'm going to be placing an order with Boost plants here soon, which I'm excited to try them. If you've ever tried them before, leave comments, and I would love to hear what your comments are about them. But they specialize in the Bucephalandra plants, and they have so many I can't even decide. I just want whatever's gonna grow the best in a dark green. So I'm excited about that. Now let's see what other products I got. I got some aquarium weights. And these are, I believe, zinc and manganese. They're not, they call them lead weights, but they're not lead. So they're flexible, and you can put them around the rhizome of an Anubias to sink it so that you don't have to completely bury it, and you can have more roots exposed that way. And maybe I'll show you my root garden for my Anubias. I planted it very high up in one of my aquariums, and the roots come down, making like a territory for animals. So lots of the fish like to swim in there, and that's actually a territory for a ram, and it looks really cool. So if you ever plant Anubias, sometimes if you plant it high or kind of halfway float it, the roots will come down like just beautiful green tendrils, and it looks super cool. The other thing I bought was First Bites. So as you may know, if you have been following my channel, we have baby black rams in the house. So that is super exciting for me. Buying those black rams was an exciting moment, but also having them hit it off in the romance department was really exciting too, because they're some of my favorite fish, not just to look at, but their personality. Having these black rams has been like having a school of puppies, because they just run up to me in the front of the aquarium and they want to be fed, and they school together up at the front of the tank whenever I walk by. And they're very bold, and they get along with the other fish too. So they're bold with each other, yet they're community fish. So I've been having a lot of luck with them. I have 8 in this aquarium here that are smaller, and then I have another 8 in my other aquarium that are larger. But these First Bites by Hikari, and I do really like Hikari foods, and I use a lot of them in my fish room. These are supposed to be small enough for ram fry. Now, ram fry are some of the tiniest fry you can hatch that I've read, and they are too small even to eat baby brine when they hatch. So this is supposed to be small enough for them, but we'll see. If it's not small enough for them, I'm not quite sure what I'm gonna do. I am hatching baby brine as we speak, for when their yolk sacs are used up and they do start free swimming, but it's probably gonna be First Bites as their first bite. So I got that. And then last but not least, and there's no sticker in here, I'm disappointed again because I really like that free fish sticker they send out, is the Zis egg tumbler. Now, this is going to be for the killifish eggs that I pluck off of the mops, the spawning mops that I made. If you want to learn how to make a spawning mop in my video catalog, there's a how-to on making spawning mops, and they can be used for fish like killifish, tetras. There's sinking spawning mops, floating spawning mops. But what do you do with the eggs after you've plucked them off the spawning mop? Well, you can put them in an egg tumbler, and this is going to aerate them and keep them moving in a current. So I think what I do is I plug in an air pump to this, and that's what keeps the water flowing through the unit, kind of like a sponge filter would suck water up. So the bubbles would create the flow. So I'm pretty sure that I will need an air pump with this, but the reason I purchased this from Aquarium Co Op, just so you know, this tumbler ZET65 model was double the price on Amazon. So I want to say this was like $30 to $35 on Aquarium Co Op's website, and on Amazon it was like $60 plus. So they had a really great deal, and I kind of think maybe I should have gotten two. I don't know how many eggs I'm gonna have, but this is rumored to be a really great product, and I'll do a separate video when I set this up to show you how it works with actual eggs in it. So when I finally do get some eggs on my spawning mops, either from my Corydoras or from my killifish, then I will do a video setting this up for you to show you how it tumbles eggs. So that is the unboxing from Aquarium Co Op. If you have any questions for me or comments, please leave them in the chat. And if you enjoyed this video, I hope you'll like and subscribe. So it was great talking to you guys, and thanks so much for watching. Have a great evening or morning wherever you're at. Bye.